And so now we're going to talk about the types of fossils and different other things that can, happen. So the types of fossil formations. So the first one you have is mineralization. This occurs when an organism can die and the minerals in the water replace the organism. This is usually seen in places where they have been ancient rivers and ancient oceans, like in Wyoming, like in the middle of the United States, there used to be an ocean. So any fossils that we find from the middle of the United States will probably have that mineralization on there. Okay. Carbonization, since we are organisms that are composed of mainly carbon, when we perish, we give out carbon dioxide and just plain carbon when we decay and as we get older. Okay. Original material. So that happens when sometimes humans or animals they fall into something called a bog, or they may fall into something called a tar pit, and sometimes their skin may be preserved because of the different type of chemical reactions that are going on, or you may have a perfectly preserved skeleton. And that has happened before when we have pulled out perfectly preserved mammoths, and then humans have been found in bogs preserved when they are victims of a crime. So then molds and casts, that's when you have a fossil that you find and you just create a mold or you just create a cast of that. And that's usually the method when people try to prove something existed, such like Bigfoot, or they may find the ancient dinosaur footprint and they put a mold in the cast right there. And then going along with molds and casts, you have trace fossils. And trace fossils are just representations of an organism being at that certain place at that certain time. Some dinosaurs may have left eggs, some dinosaurs may have left poop, and different things to show that they existed within that habitat for a short or a long amount of time. So then we try to find out the age of fossils. Okay. So we have two types of age dating. One is relative, and relative is like an estimating age date. Absolute age dating is when we use radioactive decay. So all elements give off a sort of radioactive decay. And so what we do is we test the isotopes of that element to find out the exact age of that fossil. And so we use that when we're really trying to place an animal in the fossil record in its exact time. Relative age dating, that's when we find fossils that are buried in rock or buried in sediment, and we try to not try to pinpoint, but we try to put a estimated time around what time period or epoch in life that these organisms existed. And then you have just time and fossils, and I'm not really gonna spend a whole bunch of time discussing these. Just read these over on your own. So we have geological time scale, you have dividing time scale. Okay, if you've done the assignment on Friday, you've seen that they're divided in eons. We did one on the Cambrian, and the Precambrian. That was the assignment from Friday. And then you have dividing times in which eons, and right now we're in the eon right now. And then you have extinction. Extinction is when animals no longer exist. And so right now we're going through interesting a time of extinction of our own. And it's due to, a sudden change. It's due to a virus, a sickness that is coming around. And even though there's billions and billions of people on the earth, we are facing a event that is never seen before. As far as human beings are concerned. So you have the four ways that extinctions can occur: environmental change, sudden change. The dinosaurs were a victim to that. Well, they were a victim to a sudden and gradual change. The asteroid hit the Earth, and then over time, different things happened. Gradual change right now, polar bears, there's a chance that in 50 years, polar bears may be extinct because of the loss of the Arctic Circle, and then human activity. We are the reason for a lot of things becoming extinct. We've hunted a lot of things. We've hunted them to extinction or the brink of extinction, and through conservation efforts, we have helped them get back to the point that they needed to be.